good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. This is Danielle Young coming to you from beautiful Salem, and boy, is it a lovely day today. It's been in the 60s. In the past, I have discussed my love of both gaming and pagan themes, so I'm actually going to begin, hopefully, a semi-regular blog series on pagan themes in gaming. Yay! And we're going to start with Persona 4. This is a game from the Megami Tensei series out of Japan. Well known for its tarot archetype themes, and this holds true for Persona 4 as well. The story is set in a rural Japanese town called Inaba, and you are living with your cousin and uncle during a time period when there are several murders connected to a mysterious TV channel. You discover you've been given the powers to go into the TV and fight these shadow creatures using your persona, or a personal monster type thing. Most of these actually turn out to be various gods and goddesses. One of the personas that you can have is Odin. For one of the I believe is the Fool Arcana, your ultimate persona is Loki, but not just heathen gods or Norse gods are involved. You have Ishtar for the lovers. You have various other deities, including, of course, Japanese deities. As the protagonist, you begin with Izanagi, who is one of the founders of Shinto and one of the creator gods of Japan. In fact, the story of Izanagi and Izanami becomes very important to the plot. In Japanese mythology, it was said that Izanagi and Izanami, the god and goddess, came together and gave birth to the Japanese Isles, after which Izanami gave birth to many other things, including fire, and it was during her giving birth to fire that she died in childbirth. Izanagi was so distraught that he went into the Japanese underworld to find her. If this sounds a little familiar, if this sounds very much like the story of Eurydice, you would be correct. The stories are very similar. Izanami tells him not to look at her as he leads her out of the underworld. Being like Orpheus, he turns around and takes a peek, discovering that Izanami has not fared well in the underworld and is in fact a rotting corpse. He flees the underworld with Izanami at his heels, yelling and screaming and shouting, and he locks her in the underworld, upon which point she declares that she will kill 1,000 people every day, and he declares that 1,500 will be born every day. Afterwards, he partakes of ritual cleansing. From one eye comes Amaterasu, goddess of the sun, from another Tsukuyomi, god of the moon, and from cleansing his nostrils, I believe, comes Susanoo, god of storms. How this factors in becomes very clear when you get your first persona, which is Izanagi. Later on, you go hunting down the source of the mysterious Midnight Channel, as well as the perpetrator of the murders, and you can actually be led off in different directions. There are 3 different endings, but if you follow the true ending, you'll discover that the gas station attendant you met at the very beginning of the game, who touched your hands, was actually Izanami, and you fight her in a realm within the Midnight Channel that resembles the Japanese underworld. And once you bring her down to 0 health, she will not die. Whereupon, if you use the Orb of Truth, the game really hammers in searching for the truth in this. She reveals her true form of a rotting corpse. When you're finally gotten her health down to a very low point, she starts casting 1,000 curses, cursing everyone around you to die. Whereupon the strength of your friends helps you out and turns your persona from Izanagi to Izanagi no Okami, as she turned from Izanami to Izanami no Okami. The term no Okami means, roughly means great god or great goddess. So you defeat the goddess with myriad truths, a very special attack of this persona. Now, earlier I mentioned that the arcana play into things. Each character, that you yourself included, is associated with a different tarot card. And the shadows, the monsters, are in fact those cards inverted. And they represent the different meanings of the cards. Your character is the Fool Arcana, who at the very end of the game can become the World Arcana, symbolizing the Fool's journey throughout the tarot. One of the pop stars represents the Lover's Arcana, and her inverted arcana represents the bad side of the lovers, that which would be very shallow and try to show itself off. Whereas Rize herself, as the upright lovers, shows off the positive side of the lovers, loving all parts of yourself and showing your true self. Throughout the game, you meet different characters and create different social links to boost your number of personas that you can use. One of these can be formed with a little fox that lives in an abandoned Shinto shrine. To boost this link, you help the fox fulfill wishes of people who come to the shrine, causing more donations to come in. At the end of the link, you find out that the donation box has gone missing, and both you and the fox get very worried. Turns out they took the donation box down to use the money to rebuild and help the shrine and restore it to its former glory. The fox is so grateful that it follows you into the dungeons with its magic leaf, symbolizing traditional Kitsune mythology, and will help heal you. I hope this has been an informative little video. Next time we'll probably go into Metal Gear Solid 3, my little pet game. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and blessed be Japan.